How does Tema achieve alpha? What's your main source of edge versus peers?
Again, great question. And as a sort of what I'd like to explain is kind of our investment process, where we have these 4 pillars of the way we look at individual stocks. I touched on this earlier, but I think what's really important is you have these 4 tests and how they work together. So the first test is really establishing the operating base of the business. The business needs to have a solid operating base. I need to be confident that this company is going to be able to deliver, whether they have the right management team, the right operating assets, and that they know how to use those assets to their advantage. The second part of the analysis is kind of balance sheet and cash flow. And this is really important because this is where we see what I would say, like permanent impairment of equity value. If you invest in a business with the wrong balance sheet, the chances are you will lose your equity value and you will never recover again. And that is, I think, really about the downside risk protection, which I think is really important. And then the second 2 parts for our investment process are kind of what valuation case can you make for these companies? We might look at it in a different way. And then really asking ourselves, what is this edge? And I would say it's the sort of combination of this together that is the overall Tema process edge, because you're taking care of the downside and you're thinking about the upside together as you're thinking about each stock. And it's this holistic approach really helps you. And the final question where we really try to ask ourselves, what's my edge in this stock? And you'd be amazed how few fund managers out there actually, certainly the wider investing public, really ask themselves that question. And most are stumped. They're like, well, I have no idea. Oh, I just bought this because I don't know, someone talked about it, or I like it's high return. That's a classic question. And the truth is, you have to have a process, and this is the process that we've built, that you stick to consistently, and it's a holistic process where you ask yourself really difficult questions at the end. Is this a solid business? Does it have a good balance sheet? Can I make a valuation case? And what's my edge versus the market? And when we have that together, that's when we think we can produce alpha for clients.
Yeah, absolutely. And when you're thinking about investments, then is there a consistent time horizon that you apply to potential opportunities?
Well, we're a thematic shop, so we think very, very long term in sort of multiple decades of these themes. The stock market is, operates on much shorter horizons. And so I think what's really interesting is that we have active fund managers that have to kind of marry these 2 things, like thinking about the long-term theme, but also understanding the market can maybe shoot first, price in the theme much faster than people think. And that's where it helps to have active management, because if that particular part of the theme gets priced in much quicker, for example, if you take American reshoring, gets priced, the robotics side gets priced in and all the stocks go nuts, then you can shift over to other parts that maybe are less out of favor, where the valuation case is more compelling. And I think that's kind of how we marry the 2 horizons. And once you marry those 2 things, you essentially get a horizon that's sort of roughly kind of 2-3 year horizon, which is how we think about the stocks and analyze them.
Yeah, great. And when you approach new themes or potential opportunities, then is there a consistent way that you go about sizing the potential market or opportunity?
Yeah, so we define the themes, right, using lots of proprietary tools and understanding precisely, okay, this is the set of stocks that fits this particular theme. And then after that, we look at kind of the total market cap of this industry, because I think one of the risks you have in thematic investing is just too niche funds, right, that are just too small. I can name many examples, but I'd rather not. And you just see them, they go on the market. They're just providing what a niche exposure, and they've really tried hard to stick stocks in there. And again, it goes back to this point. Right? It's about the substance of what you're getting as an investment product. It's not just about the headline story at the top of what this theme is. It's really what is in this portfolio. And so that's kind of how I think about that.